for the conversation for today. I want to start off by asking you one quick question. The question is, have you ever lost hope? Lost hope in people, things, merchandise, money, whatever it is, have you ever lost hope? And I kind of equate hope to potential. What am I saying? When you begin to lose hope in things, you lose trust. You no longer see that thing as valuable. You no longer see that thing as having any use to you. So you lose hope. You lose faith. You lose belief. And potential is kind of the same as hope, just in another way of looking at it. I look at potential as not yet, but becoming. Has the potential to be something that is not currently. Not now, but in the future to come. I like to have a quick illustration and ask you, what do you see here? I'll say it's an apple. Hope you'll say it's an apple too. You're looking at what it is currently. Right now, it's an apple. It's red, it's juicy, and it's good, it's edible. It's ready to be eaten because you're looking at the now. But what you can't see is that on the inside of it, there are seeds and there's a core. So after you eat the apple and you've taken everything off of it that you feel that has some use, we have a habit of taking that inside and just discarding it and throwing it away because we believe that it doesn't have any more use or can be any benefit to us anymore. But I beg to differ because the most important thing about the apple, the essence of the apple, is on the inside of the apple. It's actually hidden inside of the core, and if you can see, there are seeds inside of it. This is potential. This is not yet, but to come. And one of my favorite scriptures is in Genesis in chapter 11, in the first verse, first chapter. God begins to bring grass onto the land and says it's good. And he says that there are fruit trees that are after their own kind and they have a seed within itself. And I like that scripture because it talks about the future. It talks about it has the potential of being more than what it currently is. And I start off by asking you, have you ever lost hope? Well, we lose hope in things because we no longer see the potential in it. We believe that it is all that is going to be. So when we no longer see the usefulness of it, the benefits of it, we no longer see that that thing is good. We may see that it's damaged. We may see that it's bruised, just like this apple. It's already turning brown. And who wants to eat a brown apple? Who wants to eat an apple that may have a little bruise on the back of it or actually has a hole in it where a worm may have been? We'll discard the whole thing and throw it away. But what we must remember is that even that bruised apple, that brown colored apple, and that apple that looks like it may have a worm on the inside, it's still good for something. It still has potential on the inside of it. You may not want to eat the flesh, but don't throw away the core and the seed of it. Because once it's planted, it's going to grow into something. It has a future. Those things that you lost hope in, hopefully it's not people. Hopefully there's somebody in your life right now that you can think of that your relationship is kind of strained and you guys just aren't relating well. I want you to think about it for a minute. Can you get past the now? Can you begin to see what's on the inside of them and say, you know what? I believe that there's potential in you. I still have hope for a better relationship. I have hope that we'll go beyond where we were. Just think about it for a moment. Once again, it's not now, but to come. Going back to the seed in the apple. The seed in the apple, if you just throw it on the ground, it does nothing. It can't do anything. It needs an external element to come by and take up that seed and plant that seed. Not only does it need to be planted, it needs to be watered. It needs a little sunshine. It's the same way with potential. Potential that's not planted well, that's not nurtured, not watered, not encouraged, not molded, it does the same thing as the seed. It'll just sit there. But one thing I like about potential is that it's never destroyed. Even though we may not nurture that potential, maybe we may not water that potential, it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. So someone that you've lost hope in that still has the potential is there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It just needs a little nurturing. It needs a little watering. It needs some sunlight. And what do I mean by watering and nurturing and sunlight? Simple encouragement. Simple good words of well-being. Good words of speaking into their future. Yeah, right now it doesn't look good. Maybe they're not doing anything that benefits you. Maybe they've hurt you. Maybe they've done things that have really destroyed your relationship with them. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's an ex-spouse. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's a friend. But if you take time to think back, you were in that same situation at one time. Somebody had to water and nurture your potential. You didn't get to where you were by yourself. I know we live in a society where it seems like we're self-made and everybody says that they did it on their own. Nah, you didn't do it on your own. There was somebody that came by and saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. And they began to pour a little water on it and they planted it in good ground, good soil. And they began to hope for your future. And because they began to hope in your future, they began to push you. They began to propel you to where they felt that you could go. I think we need to get back to that. We need to get back to just like God when he created the heavens and the earth. And he said, you know what? I need to create something that's going to be self-sustaining. I need to create something for the future. I need to create something that doesn't look like it's going to be something now, but in the long term, it's going to come forth. It's going to manifest in something great. I know right now it seems like it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get any better. Seems like they even refuse to do better. But in reality, potential is there. And if we can come together and start thinking about how well we're doing and how we did it on our own and get back to the sense of community and neighborhoods and friends, we'll be much better off. The world will be a better place. We'll be happier because we'll be taking time out of our lives and getting out of our own heads because we spend a lot of time on ourselves and our own situations that we don't have time to breathe life into somebody else, to encourage somebody else, to put hope in somebody else. I'm not telling you to just trust everybody. I'm not telling you that, have unfailing faith in everybody. But believe that everybody has potential. Believe that everyone has a future. And just rest assured that if you spend a little time in speaking into the life of somebody, talking about the not now but yet to come, you'll encourage them. You'll give them a foundation to believe in themselves. We live in a day where everybody wants to be a motivational speaker and everybody wants to motivate people. Well, I'm a strong believer that motivation comes from within. All we can do is inspire one another. And if I can inspire you to believe in yourself, then you'll motivate yourself to do what you need to do. So that's just the thought of the day. And thank you for spending time with me. And once again, this is James Cabil.